The next question is also now through WebEx. It's Matthew Lee who wants to ask questions. Matthew, do you hear us?
Thanks a lot. I wanted to know, I saw yesterday the announcement of continued disbursement to Cameroon, and obviously it's a country in a lot of need, but there are a lot of issues that have arisen, not only about human rights issues and the refoulement of people that have fled the country due to conflict in the northwest and southwest, but also some alleged corruption in the distribution of COVID-19 aid. So I'm wondering if you can kind of, as you can say, how do the general principles of ensuring that this aid actually helps people, how are they implemented generally and specifically in Cameroon? And just finally in Cote d'Ivoire, there's some controversy around the possible third term of your alumni, Alassane Ouattara. Without getting into the politics of that, what's been the impact of the pandemic on Cote d'Ivoire, and what are your views on its prospects going forward? Thanks a lot.
Thanks. On Cameroon, of course, conditions remain very difficult socially, economically as a result of the pandemic. And yesterday, actually, we went to the board for disbursements there. On almost all of our operations with countries that we've been doing in the context of the Rapid Credit Facility, we have been asking the authorities to, number one, explain what the resources are being used to, and then number two, use their institutions, and if the institutions are not strong enough, external auditors, to show that those resources have been used for the intended purpose. I think already, and also, a third element of this is that beneficiary owners of the companies that are being awarded contracts are published. So already, yesterday there was some reporting, if you look at the staff report on Cameroon, on the, on how the resources from the first disbursement were used. And also, of course, the beneficial owners of companies for those benefits. So there's already some reporting, and this is something that we're working diligently to get into the public information. We strongly believe that not only is governance important, for country's benefit, but also what we can do is bring about a lot of transparency in terms of how resources are used. This is a core function that we do through our work in helping strengthen countries' public finance management systems. But at a time like this, I think when resources are being provided quickly, it's really important also that there is transparency in how these resources are being used. We want this information to be in the public domain so that civil society organizations, anti-corruption agencies can all scrutinize how these resources are being used. And this is an area of work we are very, very diligently following on, and that's our contribution to making sure that there continues to be improved governance.
Great.
On Cote d'Ivoire, the Aemro region more broadly has seen, even within the African context of limited infection levels, the Aemro overall has seen even lower, at the low end of infection rates. So in terms of the direct infection numbers, even controlling for testing being low, it seems that the number of COVID cases has remained low. So that's very encouraging. And we've also seen overall in the Aemro, fairly strong somewhat stronger economic outcomes than elsewhere in the region, on account of a bit more diversified economic structures that countries have. But again, even there, we're looking at, very anemic or even negative real per capita growth rates, including in Cote d'Ivoire. So the conditions remain fairly weak, and they continue, much of what I was saying earlier, the policy challenges remain as